Father's Day to all of the fathers at the Mint family. And for you that are watching that may be a father, well, listen, we just want to say Happy Father's Day. Listen, y'all, it's our day as the father. So we're excited about that. And I am excited today. I have Pastor Armstrong with me, Pastor Carlton Walton, and Elder Sam Lloyd with me on today. And we just got this little round table. We're just going to talk about some men stuff and father stuff because it's Father's Day. And we are four proud fathers, and we're just excited about this moment. So look, just say hello, Sam, Elder Sam. Just say hello to the people.
Hello, New Testament.
All
Good
right.
to be here today.
All right, Pastor.
Good morning and happy Father's Day to all of you.
All right.
Happy Father's Day, New Testament. Just a nice opportunity just to be here.
Absolutely. So listen, right quick. I just want to start off. My father, my dad. I just got choked up right quick. Good gracious, my dad was a good man. And he was a great provider. And I told y'all last week that I had said on Wednesday that I was going to go by and share with him. And I know Dad's not in his grave. My vision of being a pilot, and just let him know what he did for me has caused me to be where I am now. We was talking earlier, Pastor Armstrong, before everybody came, that we are where we are because of them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me ask y'all a question. What is something you really remember about your dad was just phenomenal? I start with you, Pastor Armstrong.
My dad was a disciplinarian, I say. He loved discipline. I mean, bed had to be made a certain way. He's in the military.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember about my father.
Really,
And he was a good provider, real good provider.
Oh God.
And cook.
But you know what? Our dads came up in the same time where they had to go to work feeling bad and sick just to make ends meet. But the reality, if you really look at us right now, what they install in us or instill, am I saying it the right way? Which way is it? Instilled in us has made us to be the men that we are. That's why we take care. That's why we take care of our family. All right, Pastor, what you remember that's really excited about your dad?
Well, one thing I can remember, Bishop, like my dad, like your dad,
Yeah.
my dad was a truck driver.
Okay.
So unfortunately, a lot of times I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. I mostly only saw him on the weekends.
Right.
But one thing I do remember that was exciting about my dad, he was very athletic.
Right.
I mean, my dad was a baseball player, a basketball player, and he could swim like a fish. We remember times at Virginia Beach, he would always go way out past.
I feel you, Doc. Hey, listen, Doc. I feel you. I got choked up myself.
He would go way past the buoy markers, and the lifeguards would be calling him to bring him back, and he would just be swimming. So he was very athletic, and that's one thing I definitely remember about him.
See, now y'all going to get us all crying on this table. Now, Elder Sam, your father still living?
No, my father's been passed since 1991.
Oh, wow.
And I was active duty still in the Navy when my father passed. So it's been a while, but I remember my dad. One thing he was really big on for my family was education.
Okay.
He always pushed and drove education. He wanted us to make sure we always had a good education, and everything started with having a good education. He was a disciplinary in his own way, not like the military style. He was not brought up in the military, but he definitely was a disciplinary, even though most of the time he left the beating to my mom. He would threaten us with a belt. He'd take the belt off and whip that belt off in a minute. And we knew once he pulled that belt off, you better look out.
It was over.
But most of the time he didn't hit us with the belt unless we really did something that he had to. He left most of the disciplinary work up to my mom.
Well, I wish I could say that.
He was also a provider for the family. He definitely was a family man that definitely preached on taking care of your family and raising your family the right way.
Right. Well, listen, I wish I could say my mother was most of the disciplinary, but it was my dad. Because I'm going to tell you, my dad, when me and my brother got, the older we became, he just got into a point where he was going to discipline us differently. He would make us lay on the floor, put his foot on the back of our neck.
Oh, wow.
And then just begin to tear your hind parts up. And the reality, and if you squirm like a fish, you gonna hurt your neck.
Yep.
So you just stood there. I mean, you lay on that floor and you just took it. I never forget one day that my dad was giving me a beating.
Wow.
That joker dropped the belt. I was like, thank you, Lord. And he did a karate kick on me. He reached down to get the belt and said, pow! I'm like, oh, God. So, man, but you know what? I wouldn't take nothing for the journey that we've had with our
Yes,
fathers.
yes.
Because, look at who you guys have turned into.
Yes.
It's just ironic that all of our fathers have passed on. But they have instilled in us. I said that right? Instilled in us to become men. So I'm excited. I'm excited. And for the young men, what would you say to the young men of today? The young men of today, anybody, what would you say to the young men? What word of advice would you give our young men, especially our young men?
I would say if you have a family and you're married and you're a man of the house, you do what you have to do, not what you want to do.
Ooh, hold on. Say that again.
You do what you have to do to support your family, not what you want to do.
Good.
That's what I would say to them. And be on time. Be accountable. That's all I have to say about it.
Powerful.
Wow, that's
powerful. I don't know if we can follow that one,
That's
but
pretty hard.
Well, my dad, one thing he told me all the time, regardless of what I was doing and what I decided to do, he always said, put God first. And
awesome.
every move that I make, when I graduated from high school, went on to college, decided to join the military, which came out of nowhere, but he said, well, put God first.
Wow.
And everything I did, that was, and that's what I would say to young men today too. But times are just so different today than it was then. A lot of times they don't want to hear that.
Right.
They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get to them with that a lot of times either. So a lot of times you just got to meet young fellas where they are,
Right. I received
and
that.
talk to them on their level,
Yeah.
and try to reach them that way.
Elder Sam, I think we was, and we not bashing this new generation. We love them.
Right.
We wish they would even do better. And
Yes.
it's us as old heads, as the young boys
Mhm.
said, to train them. But one thing Claude Williams instilled in me, I'm gonna get it right for it's over with, that my dad never was late for work. Never was late for work.
Yeah.
If he had to be at work at 4:00 in the morning, Dad would be there at 3, sitting there drinking his coffee, getting ready for his shift.
Yes.
Never got there just in the nick of time. He was already there an hour before, and that's me now. I see myself. My wife would tell you, 5:00 in the morning, I'm up. I've already hit the floor. I'm ready to get to church and get to work. I just whatever that was, I didn't know it, and the way y'all roll now, you just didn't know the stuff your daddy was teaching you that you would start doing it. But now everywhere I go, I get people saying, I knew you were gonna be on time, and because that's whatever it was, he instilled it into me. Pastor Carlton, what you say?
It's the same thing like Elder Sam was saying, being accountable.
Yeah.
And being responsible for, your actions. One thing I've always said, our children or these children, they didn't ask to come into this world.
Absolutely.
So, being accountable and taking care of your responsibilities, setting an example. And, the young men have to learn how to put their needs aside when they have a responsibility.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have to know how to put, your children first, your wife first, and things like that. I mean, you always want to keep God first.
Absolutely. Right.
But I think sometimes our young men, they put themselves ahead of their responsibility, and that's what causes the separation.
Yes.
I'm glad I can say it now, even though Gerard is here on the camera. He had no idea how much his mother and I was struggling while he was in college. Because I made sure while he was in college, you just had what you need.
Yes,
And
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
whatever he needed every week, I would make sure he got it. But that would take away from me
Yes.
because I had to
Yes.
give it to him.
Yes.
So I just went without. I
Yes,
just went without.
that's right.
And that's something I saw my dad doing. I saw my dad going without just to make sure Leslie, Brenda, and Jerome was taken care of. And so I'm praying that the old heads start helping the young boys understand, like you just said, put your family first. Take care of your family first. Your season gonna come. I have 2 grandbabies right now. Right now, Gerard and Deanna, it ain't about them. They gotta raise these kids.
Yes.
Their day is gonna come where they'll be to be like me and Elder.
Right.
We ain't got nobody in the house. So
Right.
right now, y'all got 2 grandkids. Right now, we have nobody in the house. We can come and go as we need because our responsibility to each other. But right now, they got responsibility to their family. So I'm praying that our young men, especially our young men, would do right by our young ladies. And this is the last question. I'm gonna let it go because I gotta preach. But
Amen.
Amen. I wish our young men would really know how to respect our young ladies and not call them out of their name.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think?
You're right. I agree. They should, and we need to teach them how. And it starts with the family, and it starts early on in life. Once the young teenager, once a teenager becomes that age,
Right.
it's hard to change them because they've grown up listening to the music, rap, any kind of music that uses language, profanity, vulgar, whatever like that. So even playing these video games, it all has that. So you have to reach them at a really young age, and show them what it takes to respect a woman. Show them how to respect a woman. Start showing them how to respect their mother.
Right. That's the piece.
Their sisters. How to respect them in the house. How to respect women in the church.
Wow.
Opening the door for them and doing small things like that. Because my grandson even mentioned to me that who's in Norfolk State now. He even mentioned how I showed him how he walks sometimes behind a young lady to show her respect in certain situations.
Right.
And he said he got that from me.
Right. I see that.
And I was really amazed to hear that he said he got something like that from me, just from the way that I show him how I deal with my wife and stuff at home. And I think that's where it starts at home.
Absolutely.
With the family at an early age.
But let me ask y'all this. You want to say something?
I want to say one thing. I think they need to start respecting everyone.
Ooh,
They have a
okay,
problem with respecting elderly people. Some just say anything out of
Right.
their mouth,
Yes, sir.
and I think they need to start doing that. And like you said, it comes from the family,
Right.
So.
But let me ask you this, because I know it's Father's Day, but there are a lot of mothers that have had to stand as fathers.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say this because I'm just a believer. It takes a male to raise a boy child.
Yes.
Women can do a phenomenal job. Don't get me wrong one bit.
Right.
I applaud the ladies, but it takes a male to train a boy child. And even though you may not have a man in the house, there are some male mentors at the church. There's somebody that's a male you can call and say, listen, I need you to help me with my son. And that would really, I think, be a plus in this season, so that young man would know how to act, how to talk to young ladies, how to open up a door. I've been guilty of this because, like me and my wife work together. We home together. We come to church together. We rolling together, and I'm guilty of sometimes not even open the door because we so used to roll together. She go to her side of the door, I go to mine.
Me too.
Like, only thing gets me. I'm talking about you.
Come on, Bishop.
Only thing gets me is when we get them days we really rolling, and she just stands in front of the door.
Well,
I was like, you gonna get in? She said, as soon as you open the door, so I gotta get out the car,
Yep.
walk around. Nothing else. Like, you know what? This makes no sense, but it does make sense. She every once in a while she reminds me, you still my husband, you still my man. Act like it,
Right.
You know. So listen, this been good. I wish we could do this the whole time, but we can't. But I appreciate you guys for taking the invitation,
sir.
joining me at the round table. We just copycatting off of what Elder them did for Women's Day. You know, we just did it better.
Follow
Cause
the
we,
women.
had, 'cause we at the round table, we had chairs, you know. But I appreciate you guys. To all the men, happy Father's Day. We love you guys, and I pray that you have one of the greatest days you've ever had. And I'm getting to the point now, I'm gonna stop saying Father's Day is irrelevant. No, Father's Day is just as relevant as Mother's Day, because today, being Father's Day, all the mothers and all the children are gonna show you how much you mean to them. All right, we love you to life. Listen, I gotta go preach, so just take a breath. I'm coming right back up and do the sermon. Love y'all. See y'all in 30 seconds. Bye bye.